Hello everybody, happy trading. Today is another red day. Just like the last month has been a red day, and all the gains that we made from early to mid-June and in July got completely evaporated. Currently, the S&P is down around 12% and the NASDAQ is down around 22, 23%. Last time I checked in the morning, but who knows, that could have doubled right now. In today's video, I do want to talk a little bit about PALANTIR, but I'm going to do it a little bit differently and I'm going to break it down into several different segments. I know everybody's getting beat up and that's okay. Just remember all the people, including a lot of people that are watching this show right now that are like, hey, Adam, I wish the price of PALANTIR went down. When the price of PALANTIR goes down, I'm gonna buy more. And most people don't end up buying more. So I bought over 1,000 shares over the last 2 weeks or so. I make these trades available for my Patreon group so they can verify what I'm saying is actually true. Guys, in today's video, I just want to say be patient, relax. It takes time to grow things. And in today's video, I'm gonna cover 3 things. The first thing I'm gonna cover is the new patents that PALANTIR keeps getting. The second thing that I'm gonna cover is a little bit of an update to the NHS contract. And the third thing that I'm gonna cover today is government spending and how government money can possibly get into PALANTIR. This is gonna be the first segment of the show. Before I start, please give me the likes, please give me the shares, and please give me the subscribe. And I do want to know a little bit more about you as an investor. Please let me know down below. Besides for PALANTIR, what other stocks do you hold? What other things are you interested in? And are you interested in crypto or real estate? As I do have 3 separate channels, one for stocks, one for crypto, one for real estate. So if you're feeling real estate and crypto, I do have a link down below to those channels. Without further ado, let's get into the first segment of this video. United States patents are so important, especially if you are an emerging data analytics company like PALANTIR, because if you come up with an idea and you're ever evolving, you want to protect your ideas so that other people cannot steal and pickpocket all of your innovation. I did a couple of videos on the patents of PALANTIR and I showed that they have way over 1,000 patents. The way a patent works usually is you file for a patent and somewhere between 1.5 years to 2.5 years later, you actually get the patent. Until then, it is patent pending. Today, 5 more patents came out for PALANTIR. I'm gonna read you all of these patents so you understand that PALANTIR is completely innovating. And while I'm doing this, I want you to remember something. Right now, the price of PALANTIR is bad. It's around trading at low $7, but that's okay because this entire time, the narrative of PALANTIR never changes. They never waver from their goal of providing service to the United States government and the United States government's allies. All of this commercial business, growing commercial, that is fantastic. Don't get me wrong, and I'm very happy for it. But PALANTIR's mission is to make the world safer. Whatever that means to you, it means something to PALANTIR, and that means protecting the United States citizens, and the United States allies. And through these patents is how PALANTIR is able to do that because they keep innovating, innovating, innovating. So while the price of PALANTIR is actually down, they still keep growing. They keep growing their arsenal, so to speak. And the question is PALANTIR a better company now than it was 6 months ago, now that it was a year ago, or now that it was 2 years ago? And for me, the answer is yes, but I'm not a financial advisor. I'm purely an entertainer and educator at best. Now let me bring you to Raichi's page on Twitter. He's fantastic and you should definitely follow him because he brings us a lot of information, especially these 5 new patents that I will be showing you right now. This is Raichi at RACCHIKABU. This guy is an absolute amazing person in the PALANTIR community and he helps a lot. PALANTIR acquired 5 new patents today, September 6th. And these are the actual patents. So the first one is a system for generating, analyzing, and storing patent overviews and data snippets. A system for network risk assessment, including the handling of user access rights related to the network of devices. A system for selecting training data for machine learning. And if you follow Raichi, you can actually see the patents. They're right here, right in front of you. You guys can read that. And in the second piece of this tweet, these are the last 2 patents. A system for improving interactive graphical user interface, and a user interface for displaying and finally a user interface for displaying the discretized elements of logic flow systems. And again, you guys can read those patents. What these patents actually mean, you guys can go in depth yourself. For me, this means that they just keep upgrading their AI data analytics tools. I like the word snippets, which means that they can do a lot more with a lot less. That's what the snippets mean to me. And that's not the first patent where you see the word snippet in it. So these are the biggest patents for me. That concludes the first segment of this show. I hope you got something out of it. And in the second segment of this show, which happens right now, I will give you an update about the NHS contract. So in the last publication about the NHS contract, it was said that we will get an update about the NHS contract yesterday. The update to the NHS contract yesterday, and again, I got it from Rachel's page on Twitter, is that formal bidding is going to come out right now, that the NHS is including PALANTIR in the bids, that the NHS does like PALANTIR, and that the bids are going to come in right now in September. In October, they will start coming in. In November, they will start getting reviewed. And sometime in 2023, they will actually pick a winner for the NHS contract. Unfortunately, and as I was saying this in many of my videos, I wasn't sure if they're going to actually pick a winner or not. Yesterday, they're not picking a winner. They're just explaining the situation and the procurement process and how everything will happen moving forward. So I apologize for that. I wish we were able to win this contract, but that's okay. I'll wait. I'll keep you guys apprised of the situation. And this in no way, shape, or form waivers my trust in PALANTIR or how I believe PALANTIR is going to get this contract. As I said, there's a lot of clues that's coming out of PALANTIR, and I believe that there's going to be a lot more clues coming out about the NHS contract in the future, and it's my pleasure to bring you the information as I get it right in front of me. This concludes the second part and the second segment of this show. Now, for the third part of this show, I wanted to talk a little bit about government spending or lack thereof government spending. Alex Karp focuses most of his time on government spending. As I said in the beginning of this video, Alex Karp loves government spending. This is the identity of PALANTIR, keeping the world safe, or keeping the United States safe and its allies safe. So he focuses more on the government side, while I believe his lieutenants, like other people like maybe Shyam Sankar and a couple of other people in PALANTIR, actually focus on the commercial side. I don't think Dr. Alex Karp at all focuses on anything but government spending, both military and non-military spending. So how does the military spending actually work? Currently, the United States spends $757 billion, $757 billion on Department of Defense spending. But how does the fiscal year actually work? The fiscal year actually starts on October 1st and ends on September 30th. So Dr. Alex Karp was saying that the United States just is not spending money. And my man Arnie showed us that it's not only the PALANTIR that wasn't getting any government spending. Boeing, Lockheed Martin, and other DoD primes, not that PALANTIR is a prime, but they're trying to be a DoD prime for software. But a lot of these DoD primes are not getting government spending. Why? Government fiscal year starts on October 1st and ends on September 30th. October 1st as in less than a month away. So that means that most of the spending was already done before we had Q2 earnings. There's very little money left in the budget. Why? The way government works, from city government to state government to federal government, is they spend as much as possible, as quick as possible. If they have money at the end of their fiscal year, this shows the people in charge of allocating funds the year after that, hey, you had money, you weren't spending money. So what the government does is they spend as much money as quickly as possible to show, hey, we need more money in our budget. And unfortunately, this adds to the national debt, the national deficit, but this video is not about that. Fortunately, PALANTIR gets a lot of that government spending. So government spending, nearly $800 billion. Government spending starts again October 1st. PALANTIR is trying to be in prime position to get a lot of that money that's going to be coming in on October 1st. Let me show you a quick chart just so you understand the level of spending the United States does for government contracts, for military government contracts, compared to the other 9 top countries combined. So this is the top 10 countries in the world of military spending. We're going to compare the United States to the other 9 countries. And I think you're going to be very, very surprised in what I'm about to show you. This is U.S. defense spending compared to other countries. The United States, as of May 11, 2022, spent $801 billion. The other 9 countries combined spent $777 billion. China leading the way, followed by India, United Kingdoms, Russia, France, Germany, Saudi Arabia, Japan, and South Korea. The United States outspends all the other 9 countries combined, and this number is going to keep going up. I believe the Bank of America analyst says that that number of $800 billion is actually going to go up to $1 trillion by 2026. $1 trillion by 2026. Guys, the fiscal year is about to start for government spending. I believe that the contracts are going to go up for Palantir. Dr. Alex Karp keeps hinting at this, saying, hey guys, there is no money. The government is not spending money. We are a government contractor and we need the government spending. But thankfully, we do have a growing commercial side that's going to outpace the government side. But without the government side, the commercial side does not grow. I mentioned this before. If we are good enough to work with the government, if we are good enough that the government trusts all of their systems to Palantir, well, then mega cap corporations is also going to trust Palantir. Now, there are some people that say, hey, a lot of companies will not work with Palantir because Palantir works with the government. It is what it is. There's just as many companies that want to work with Palantir because Palantir works with the government. At the end of the day, it's a battle right now. And some people are saying, hey, split Palantir, commercial side and government side. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. And a lot of people are also saying, hey, get rid of Dr. Alex Karp. To this, I'm going to say this is absolutely ridiculous. He's been the CEO of Palantir for like 17 years. He brought Palantir from a nothing company, and not just him, like the whole Palantir, but he was at the helm, right? He brought Palantir from a nothing to a $20 billion company. At one point, it was more, but let's say $20 billion company. Imagine this guy has been doing this for 17 years. He himself is a billionaire. He grew the company from nothing to something. He knows the way government works. He's been doing this for the longest time. He's been telling all of the investors, hey, 30% growth rate year after year. Not what people assumed, 45% and 50%, so on and so forth. He was not sandbagging. He's saying that we're going to have a 30% growth rate based on past performance. And I think he actually said that the government over the last 10 years grew 35%. Not 30%, 35%. So a lot of people thought that Palantir was sandbagging when the first earnings came out and they had like 40+%. No, they weren't sandbagging. Dr. Alex Karp said this happens. You have earnings higher, you have earnings lower because of government fiscal spending. And it takes a very, very long time to get these huge government contracts. But just remember, guys, this show is over, right? I'm just freestyling it right now. Patents. Every single day, we hear about something new about patents. Over 1,000 patents. I went over them myself in one of my episodes. I can't even find that video. That's number one. Palantir is by far worth more today than it was before. Government spending is on a rise, and even though it's $800 billion, in the next 3 years, we will increase this by another 25% of spending. And America already spends more than the other 9 countries combined on military spending. A lot of that money is going to go into Palantir. Why? Palantir does something called software instead of hardware. A lot of the military spending right now is not boots on the ground. It's not about who has the biggest armies, who has the smartest army. And in order to have a smart army, you do need hardware, but not just like machine gun hardware. You need actual hardware, right? Systems and deployments and a bunch of different data. But you also need software to run that hardware. Where does the software come from? Palantir. That's going to be the software. As I said, I believe in Palantir. Nothing wavered. I still believe in Palantir. I'm still buying on the dip. Guys, either you have conviction or you don't. I'm not trying to jive you. I don't give a fizzle what you guys do. I'm just trying to give you my own plays. And many times before in many different investments, my fortitude faltered. When it comes to Palantir right now, I'm not faltering. I'm going to be in this for a while. Like I said, I'm going to give Palantir around another 1.5 years or so, and then I'm going to reevaluate what's happening with Palantir. By then, I'm going to win my $2,000 bet with Chris Patel because I think Palantir is going to outpace Snowflake. Right now, Palantir is down, and that's okay. I'm taking advantage of the dips. I'm DCAing the dip because a lot of people that say they're going to DCA the dip, when the dip comes, they never buy stock. And then the dip stops, stock goes up, and people are like, oh, I wish the stock is going to go down. Same thing happens with real estate, same thing happens with crypto, so on and so forth. At the end of the day, Palantir is a much, much stronger company now than it was a year ago. And the price right now is cheaper than it was a year ago by far. Therefore, Palantir is a much better buy today than it was a year ago. And if you were buying Palantir a year ago but not today, something is wrong with your brain cells. Thank you so much. Have a great day. The Berg is out.